everyone. Welcome to the Word at Work podcast. You're with your host, Julie Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Robert Brill from Brill Media. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So I was explaining to Robert, we're going to play a game, and the key to this is use your lifelines. You have 3 lifelines. Poll the audience, 50-50 split, or you have 30 seconds to use your phone and Google the answer. That's your last lifeline. All right, so let's get straight into it. First one. By definition, which of these popular craft hobbies involve the use of a hooked needle? Crocheting, sewing, paper mache, or decorating? Might not be your forte, crafts hobbies, Robert. Do you have any idea before locking it in?
This is a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I think I'm going to need to... I have an idea, but...
What's your idea? I'm pretty lenient on the... All right, let's lock it in, Robert.
Okay.
See, I like to help out on the first one.
All right, thanks.
Locking in crocheting, however you say it. That is correct. There is no need to worry. Robert is a full bottle on arts and crafts. All right, next question. By definition, a diurnal event occurs how often? Every day, every month, every week, or every year? Diurnal. How do you feel about this question?
I'm trying to dissect the language. Diurnal. Every day.
I think it might be
week.
Latin.
I think D every year.
Well, let's use a lifeline, Robert.
Let's use a lifeline.
Yes.
Can I Google?
You could Google. You want to use that one? All right, let's get the Google one on, and
or should I call? Can I call my wife?
You can. You got 30 seconds. Google or text your wife. I think I'd be Googling just quietly.
Let's see.
Pressure's on. I can never get through to my wife. You're pretty confident there. All right, still ringing.
She's not answering.
She's not answering, Robert. All right, I'll give you 5 seconds. Oh, we'll quickly Google it. Go on, Google it. Just Google diurnal.
Day.
Got it.
Is the answer every day?
Lock it in.
Lock it in every day.
Did you Google that, or did you just have a punt?
I Googled it.
You did. Well done. You were pretty quick on the Google. Quicker than the wife anyway. All right, continuing on. In a typical symphony orchestra, what instrument is played by more musicians than any other?
Violin.
Cello, violin, trumpet, or harp?
Violin.
Oh, wow. Confident. Now, why are you so confident with that one?
I don't routinely watch orchestras, but when I do, I see a lot of violins. And I've actually thought about this. Like, there's a lot of these people playing the same instrument, and I'm going to go with violin.
Lock it in. I like it. I like the logic. I like the confidence.
Because trumpet doesn't make sense.
And it's correct. Well done, Robert. That was.
Thank you.
You got potential here.
Yeah.
In addition to the weight of the human hand, the boy in Jerry Maguire also informs us that what animals can smell fear. The little boy in Jerry Maguire says what animals can smell fear. Bees and dogs, cats and goldfish, snakes and ants, bears and goats. This is a...
I have a feel... I don't actually know.
What's your feeling? What's your feeling?
My feeling is A, bees and dogs.
Okay. What do you want to do? Do you want a lifeline or lock it in?
Lifeline. I'll use a lifeline.
You're going to use the lifeline. Play it safe. All right. Let's go with a 50-50 split. You want to do that?
Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, bees and dogs.
Bees and dogs, cats and goldfish are left. Robert Brill from Brill Media is locking in bees and dogs. And correct. Okay. All right. I thought about just saying lock it in, but I don't want to give you too many clues. All right. Continuing on. By definition, which of these vessels is a canoe? A paddleboard, a kayak, a ski boat, or a surfboard? Robert?
Kayak.
Locking it in. No lifelines needed. And that's correct. He's at the first safe level of $1,000. $1,000 in pretend money. Let's just be clear about that. Saves an awkward conversation when you get to the million. All right. Continuing on. Crostini is an Italian appetizer that requires what main ingredient? Tostini? Crostini. Anyway, first one is toasted bread, toasted eggplant, toasted olives, or toasted tomato. Crostini is an Italian appetizer. And what is it made from? Toasted bread, toasted eggplant, toasted olives.
Bread.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
All right, live dangerously. All right, Robert, you've used a few lifelines. You've got one left, but I think you could still go all the way. All right, polyandry occurs when a woman has more than one what? Parrot, husband, best friend, or mother?
Husband.
Yes, some of those are not even physically possible. Husband, lock it in. Correct. Robert's on fire. He's in a flow state. By definition, which of these geometric shapes is a parallelogram? I think I've had this one before. Parallelogram. Is it a circle, a rectangle, triangle, or a hexagon? Which of those is a parallelogram?
Rectangle.
Rectangle. Lock it in. No need for any clues. He charging up the ladder. Robert, with one lifeline left. Could he go all the way? What kind of flower is a fleur de lis, which is French? Is it an orchid, an iris, a rose, or a tulip? Fleur de lis.
What's the fleur de lis? I'm thinking between orchid and tulip, but can we?
Let's hit the lifeline. Poll the audience.
Lifeline. Yeah, let's call the audience.
We just got to wait. See what they come up with. There'll be some people that speak French, some Canadians that will know this one, or people that have done French in high school. All right, coming in. Fleur de lis. What type of flower? Orchid, iris, rose, or tulip? And we've got 18% on A, orchid, 54%,
Really?
Huge majority for iris. C, rose is 17%, and only 11% for tulip.
Let's go with the crowd. We'll
Let's
go with
go
the
with
iris.
the crowd. Lock in the iris. And that's
Nice.
correct. Robert is at $16,000 in pretend money. Next question. Angora wool comes from one of two animals, the Angora goat or the Angora what? Deer, rabbit, camel, or horse? I had no idea about this one. No lifelines left. Angora wool, we know it comes from a goat, but there is also another animal. Another fluffy animal that produces Angora wool, which is news to me and probably Robert. Do you have any idea?
I'm thinking between camel and horse. Could be deer, I guess. Rabbit, I don't think it is. Angora, I don't even know. I'll go with camel. That's not even right. I know that's not right.
Don't pick it. That's your intuition telling you.
I don't know where else to go. It's either horse or deer.
All right.
I would say my first intuition was horse or camel.
Angora horse?
Angora horse, Angora deer. Let's go with A, deer.
Okay. I was influencing you in all the wrong directions. Locking it in, dear.
The rabbit.
Unfortunately,
What?
there is such a thing as an
Ridiculous.
Angora rabbit. I might need to
Who
Google
thought of
that and
this?
check that. I've never heard of one, but that's the answer. Well, you did pretty well. You had a few
Ridiculous.
rough questions. I got to say they were pretty difficult. All right. And how do we go from a segue from Angora rabbits
Yeah,
into
there's no segue whatsoever.
Robert Brill? Robert, tell us about Brill. I think it's a Brill idea, as I said. And tell us about Brill. And you started in advertising.
Yeah. So I've spent 20 years in advertising. We're an advertising and marketing firm, and there's different ways of characterizing us. It's basically like media buying. Our job is to get ads into Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google, Hulu, Roku, wherever people are consuming media and advertising supported media, with the goal of growing businesses.
Yeah, the black arts of advertising.
Yeah.
And which one is your number one that people are using?
Facebook and Google, or Meta and Google, are the two kind of like major, massive amount of media spend goes to those two channels alone. And if you're not those two businesses, then you're fighting for scraps, billions of dollars of scraps, but still scraps. So our most common are Facebook, Google, followed by, or Meta, Google, followed by like banners on the open web, that type of thing.
Right. And advertising, I'm an advocate for usually DIY, but one area where I probably would say you need a professional is advertising, and particularly these kind of online paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram and Google and all of that stuff. What are some of the problems that people run into, and why is it difficult for people?
Yeah, so there's 10 million advertisers on Meta, according to Meta. And according to Neil Patel, about 62% of them fail at their advertising efforts. And they're small businesses, mom and pops. And, anyone can run ads on Meta. All you need is a Facebook account, an internet connection, and a computer, and you can run the ads. But you don't have any of the experience that, like people on my team have had over the last 10, 15, 20 years. That gives you the experience of how to grow ads, how to run advertising, how to make you're investing money. Like most people are not going to take their thousands of dollars and like randomly pick stocks and figure out that they'll be effective. So why would you do that with advertising? It's much more likely that the money you're investing will be used to learn how to run that advertising. So it's actually better to work with an expert who is far less expensive than you might think, with the goal of properly investing that money so you get back leads, you get back sales, you get back foot traffic. But you can do it yourself. There's training and learning. It's just, if you're good at other things, why spend the time learning yet another channel? Marketing is important, but there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, and there are so many factors that you can only learn through either burning lots of money through trial and error or using somebody's experience. And this is why I say with paid ads, you need to have a professional, because what are you trying to do? Are you trying to drive people to know about an event? Are you trying to sell high ticket coaching? Are you trying to just build an email list? And there's lots of different factors that come into that. There's different ad groups, and ads get kind of exhausted, and there's all this stuff that you need to know. What's kind of new happening in the area that's kind of changed? I know Meta is completely changed. Is that a big one that is different now?
100%. Meta is oddly complicated for people who don't understand how to do advertising on Meta, and even any advertising. If you know how to do really cool things on Google, Meta is a completely different platform. So, like, one of the most interesting things that's happening with Meta is the best practices for advertising in Meta are really about not using one of its most common features, which is keyword and interest targeting. When we go to market with a strategy, our default setting is going to be broad targeting, serving ads to people based on age, gender, and location. And let Meta's algorithm understand who your best customers are. And the only way you can do that is by broad targeting. The minute you go narrow by doing retargeting or lookalike targeting or keyword or interest targeting, number one, you're getting charged higher rates for the keyword and interest targeting. Number two, you're purposely limiting Meta's ability to find your best customers. And over time, you are purposely making it hard. You're constraining Meta from understanding who your best customers are. So as a result, you are investing in a strategy that Meta is currently not built for. Meta has this thing called the Power Five, and the Power Five talks about, or the Performance Five actually now. The Performance Five is about, how to use Meta to drive performance for campaigns. One of the things they explicitly say is you want to do the broad targeting. That's going to get you the best result. So just off the top, if you use the bells and features that are available or the bells and whistles that are available in Meta, you're going to be doing it wrong straight out the gate. And you only get these. Go ahead.
That worked, early on. All of the interest targeting and stuff was great, and it worked. But what's happened is, from my understanding, is Meta's algorithm is so much more sophisticated now. Like you say, you don't want to put the shackles on their technology, and you're better off letting do the broad targeting. And I think a lot of people don't know that, and that's where you get somebody in to do that and let the learning happen, so that Facebook can understand who you're targeting. Meta, sorry. The other thing is, I think people don't understand how important creatives are. Is that something you have to educate people on? Why is that important? What do people need to do?
Yeah. So creative is king, media is queen. So you need good creative executions to make your advertising work for you, no matter what channel, television commercials, connected TV, Hulu ads, even good text copy for Google, and everything in between. If it's advertising, you need good creative. The thing that's really helpful with Meta is if you constantly iterate on creative every 2 to 4 weeks, if you develop 5 ads every 2 to 4 weeks, you have the ability to understand the one creative execution out of not 5, but 125, because what we do is we disassemble the ads and we say, look, all the headlines, one bucket, all the images, another bucket, all the primary text, another bucket. When you disassemble them, you actually have 15 different assets. And when you reconstitute them in different ways, you have 125 different variables. So within the span of 2 to 4 weeks, we can take those 125 different ad combinations that can possibly exist and find the one that works the best. And you do that over time. What you're doing is you're populating Meta with the absolute best ads that you have, and you create you develop a creative all-star team. And there are dramatic learnings that happen for that. Number one, Meta starts to understand which messages resonate the best. Number two, Meta routes your creative messages to the right people. Number three, you get to understand business insight, which products, services, offers, discounts, etc. resonate for your business. And if you have 5 products and only one product consistently sells, well, that's the insight. Stop selling the other 4. Focus on the one that actually consumers want, because you've now discovered product market fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And that strategy, the blueprint for doing it, is so important. I mean, you really are blind, if you don't know what you're doing with this. And which channels are people using? Are you doing anything with some of these newer channels like TikTok? Yeah,
I love TikTok.
Yeah. And what I wanted to ask was, which type of businesses do you work with mostly? Who's your ideal client that would really, you would love to work with?
Yeah, so we've developed a business as a media buying agency that is deployed by other agencies. So agencies that do creative, social media, strategy. They buy television, but they don't understand digital. Even fractional CMOs. They come to us and say, Robert, we have some media. We do everything from selling uh, consumer packaged goods. There's different states in the United States where we say, hey, make sure you don't get tuberculosis. We help people get health care. We help people get cars. We open movies. We are advertiser agnostic because what matters is the principles of media buying. The thing that most businesses don't have, whether they are agencies or direct to advertiser businesses, or like restaurants, for example, they understand their business. What they don't understand is how to deploy and wield the communications tools of our time effectively. Just like I wouldn't know how to go and invest, which is why I have a financial guy, that type of thing. So our ideal clients are either agencies who know that they understand they want media buying, but they don't have the capacity to make it work, or it's too expensive or cumbersome, or it's advertisers who have anywhere between $5 and $500,000 in advertising to spend, and they are investing in the next 3 to 12 months of their business. Because what the marketplace tells us is that when you run advertising for long periods of time, the algorithm gets smarter about who your best customers are. You have time to iterate on creative, and our work starts to exponentially compound. I don't want to win in 1 or 2 months. I want to win over the next 12 to 24 months, because that's how you're going to get dramatically outsized value from the work that we do at whatever spend level it is. And we often encourage clients, look, if you have one large sum of money for 30 days, cut it into 3 and run it for 3 months. It'll be better for you in the long term.
Right. And people need to have a longer term sort of commitment to this, as you say, even though, you can work over 3 months, you would say ideally you need to be looking at a year sort of commitment. Would you say?
Yeah. I mean, look, we know how to service clients. So we actually don't lock our clients into anything. Like, they can leave in 48 hours. They can literally sign a contract with us, run media runs, and then 2 months into it, they can cancel in 48 hours. But that never happens, or it hasn't happened in a very long time. We have clients who stay with us for many years because we know how to perform. What clients need is consistency and communication. Clients need to understand what's going on with their advertising, how their investment is being spent, and what it's bringing back for the business. And one of the biggest reasons that clients come to us from other agencies, whether it's a direct to advertiser client or it's another agency that decides to shift to us, they say, look, we might have been getting decent performance, but the communication isn't there. I didn't feel like I was getting the leadership from my team. Or they're just junior people that are getting the business, and they don't know how to do the work effectively. So they come to us for that leadership.
Yeah, I can imagine one of the worst things that businesses have is they contract somebody and they feel like that they're spending money, but they're not getting, the feedback, the information, and you've kind of identified that as a key point with what you're doing with Brill. So you're keeping the business owners in touch. They can see what you're working on. They can see the results and see the bigger picture, I suppose.
100%.
And so you've been doing advertising for a long time. How long have you been with Brill Media? How long has that been around?
Yeah, so I started the business in 2013, and I've been in advertising for 20 years.
And when did Brill start to become Brill, and you really thought, hang on, this is working, I'm onto something? And what was it that kind of was really getting traction for you?
Early on in our business, so when I started this company, I started four different companies, and I had to cycle through those 4 in order to get to this place. And those 4 companies were like influencer marketing companies, social media company, a consulting firm, and then this media buying practice that we do. And I had to make all the mistakes and fall down in all the different ways. And what ended up happening was the thing I know how to do best, which is kind of like an obvious thing. The thing I know how to do best is media buying and digital media buying. So the thing I know how to scale most effectively is media buying. So that was one insight that took me a while to figure out. The second insight was I may not have partners. I have 100% ownership of the company, but I can work with partners and share the benefit of winning business with partners. So what I did is enlisted far more senior people than me. So when I say more senior, this was like, a few years ago. So people 30, 40 years in the business. I said, hey, like we can have an arrangement. And the arrangement is we can share the profitability of a client if you bring it in. I have a team, you have relationships, let's do that. And in doing so, it created opportunities for us it got us in the door to many different companies. One of our first clients is an out-of-home agency, a very big out-of-home agency. And we worked with them for a few years until they brought it in-house, the media buying that we're doing for them. But the only way we could have gotten in the door and then we could have won the business is the stewardship of that relationship, having an advocate for us in-house. And one of the things I've learned over time is the way you close deals and have relationships, are the best deals are the ones where there's an advocate for you in-house. Has to be that way. That's not the only way to win business, but having an advocate gives you an advantage so that you can prove your worth. You know what you need to prove so that you can win a piece of business. So I think what triggered for me is I'm going to stop doing this alone. I'm going to work with partners. I'm going to share the wealth all around, and we'll go from there. And that's how I built the business.
Yeah, and that's kind of doing things the right way and having those good relationships is what you want to be doing, and it's obviously it works for you as well. And now I've got a link here for brillmedia.co, media planning and buying. I'll just bring that up. Tell us about that. Okay. What can people expect if they go there? It's in the description.
Yeah.
You're showing.
Yeah. So I'll be very transparent about why I picked this particular link. I'm on a search engine optimization journey.
Yeah.
So our main page is brillmedia.co, but just to give you and your viewers an inside scoop on what we're doing here is from a search engine optimization perspective, we want to rank for this keyword, media planning and buying, or media planning and buying agency. So in very transparent nature, the way that we're going to rank is having a really optimized page about media planning and buying. I've done that. The next thing that I need for the business is I need an anchor text that links back to this page with the anchor text media planning and buying. This is really to attract people to the fact that we do media planning and buying. Our main page, brillmedia.co, is really the page where you get a sense of what we are and who we are. I don't know if this is a screenshot or if this is a live web page.
I can click on something for you.
Yeah, go to the homepage.
Okay, so I'll just click on the logo. Is that right? Or
yeah, click on the logo.
There we go.
Yeah. So this is us. I mean, this is our core value proposition. You can be everywhere your customers are, grow your business with the best data, targeting, and technology in the marketplace. And you can see here that we've been on the Financial Times 500, Inc. 5000, and published in a few places because we talk about how businesses can grow and scale, and part of that mission is to talk about it in publications where business people are reading. So that's why Forbes, Business Insider, and Fast Company are
awesome.
on there.
And what can people expect if they click on Start Now? Will they have a little chat with you, Robert?
Yeah. So what we're doing is it's going to be a quick form with a message. They click Contact Now. We'll get a notification via our HubSpot, and we'll reach out. And you'll get an immediate email asking people to link back to us. To schedule a call with us. So it's basically getting on a call with me and our account specialists, and we talk about your individual business challenges, and we determine if we can help you. And, are you even in a place where advertising will make a difference in your business? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes the answer is no. And what we've done, because our clients are um, most of our clients are agencies that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with us. We've been accustomed to serving these big advertisers. We've developed now a capability for advertisers spending low thousands, even less than $5,000 a month in advertising. So if you're spending $1,000 or $2,000 on advertising, you're going to have a really senior expert team manage all of your advertising for a really low cost, like hundreds of dollars a month. And you get the best of our capabilities packaged up in a way that's valuable for smaller businesses.
Yeah, and it's really good to have somebody that is, got some years on the board, and also, like you say, used to working with bigger clients, and you get that economies of scale thing happening. And if you want to come in and just with a couple of $1,000s a month, you could really benefit, I think. So, yeah, if you're out there and you want to get onto this media planning and buying, which is a different approach to a lot of other people. And I get the impression that Robert's just not after churn and burn sales, but he's a relationship guy, and I think he'll look after you. So if you're in the market for getting your advertising sorted, you need a professional. Have a chat to Robert, and thank you, Robert, for coming on.
Thanks, Julian. Really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Glad you had fun. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. I'm going to wrap it up.